Biden, right? So Biden basically authorized airstrikes over in Iraq towards Iran. And this is a very big deal. I know the media is trying to censor this, but this is a very big deal. This happened over the last 24 hours, and I want to keep you guys up to date on what's going on out in these streets, all right?
That we mentioned overnight, U.S. airstrikes in Iraq hitting sites where militants have been targeting American troops. President Biden authorizing those retaliatory strikes after Christmas Day drone attack left 3 American service members wounded. NBC's Ryan Nobles joins us now with the latest on that. Ryan, good morning.
Peter, good morning to you. And yes, you're right. This is yet another sign of U.S. involvement and tensions escalating in the Middle East. Overnight, the Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin confirming U.S. military forces carried out what they say were necessary and proportionate strikes in Iraq, targeting several facilities being used by an Iran-backed terrorist group. Now, according to U.S. Central Command, early assessments show that the facilities were successfully destroyed and a number of militants were killed. No civilian lives were affected. The Defense Department says that the strikes were in response to a series of attacks against U.S. personnel in the area, including one earlier on Christmas morning. That incident happened at an airbase in Iraq where 3 U.S. service members were injured from a drone attack, leaving one in critical condition. President Biden quickly convened his security team at Camp David, where he made the call to direct the strikes against those groups responsible.
So essentially, they're calling it a retaliation in Iraq after 3 U.S. troops was wounded. It goes on to say they carried out the retaliatory attacks on Monday in Iraq after a one-way drone attack earlier in the day by Iran-aligned militants that left 1 U.S. service member in critical condition and wounded 2 others. The back-and-forth clash was the latest demonstration of how Israel-Hamas war is rippling across the Middle East, creating turmoil that has turned U.S. troops at bases in Iraq and Syria into targets. So, President Joe Biden then gave out a statement that said these strikes are intended to hold accountable those elements directly responsible for attacks on coalition forces in Iraq and Syria and degrade their ability to continue attacks. We will always protect our forces. And I'll keep you guys up to date on that. So I'm never a fan of, and I don't know much of what's going on as far as starting on the wars, but I know that Trump specifically reduced the amount of troops that we had overseas and the amount of money that we had to deploy as far as war. And I'm trying to make sure that I'm not quick to judgment so that I can better evaluate the situation. So I'm doing more research. I will keep you guys up to date on what's going on, because I think that every and any strike that happens, especially considering the amount of money that we're deploying and amount of resources that we're deploying in order to support these multiple different wars, that's not even ours, is very, very detrimental to our budget and is detrimental to the American people. And so I'm going to keep you guys up to date on what's going on. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you. In other news, something more local that can entertain us a little bit, Beyonce's childhood home caught fire.
All right, so an early morning Christmas fire took over the childhood home of Beyonce as well.
Yeah, this was just a shocking story. Fox 26's Shelby Rose is live in the 3rd Ward with the latest on what happened out there. Shelby?
Well, good morning. First and foremost, though, I want to say that there are no injuries to report here. The family who now lives in the childhood home of Beyonce was able to get out before the Houston Fire Department even arrived on scene. But you can just see the damage it left behind, specifically on the 2nd story there. It's more or less stripped down to the frame. Now, records show the Knowles family lived inside this very home in the 3rd Ward until Beyonce was around 5 years old. And back in 2018, it was listed for sale for $500,000. Now, the Houston Fire Department tells us they got the call around 2 a.m. and arrived on scene just minutes later to battle those flames, which you can see barreling out of that 2nd story window. And there isn't more damage, the district chief tells us, because of the quick work of these firefighters to put it out.
Both these crews are really good crews. They train a lot, they work hard, they like being here. I mean, we're here on Christmas morning and these guys are chomping at the bit to go to these house fires. I think it's a credit to all Houston firemen to be here and doing things we're doing right now this time of day.
So essentially, Beyonce's childhood home, where I guess that she lived there until she was 5 years old, sustained damage. It said fire crews were able to extinguish the fire within minutes of arriving at the home at 2 a.m. on Monday, which was Christmas. And Beyonce and her family obviously don't live at the house on Rosedale Street, but the location is considered an iconic landmark to fans and a musician. The current residents of the house were not injured in the fire, and the cause of the blaze is under investigation. And so everybody is safe, and that's the most important thing, right? Right? Y'all are some rabid fans of these people. All right, and the final news, there's a North Dakota lawmaker that is under fire for, they're saying, using racist remarks and homophobic rants. Take a look.
So what I'm going to do, I want to conduct a series of field sobriety tests, okay, to make sure you're fit to drive, because I smell alcohol in your breath and you're slurring your words a little. What I want you to do, I want you to follow it with your eyes and your eyes only. Don't move your head, okay? Do you understand?
Yes, sir, I got you.
Okay. So what I'm going to request is that you provide a specimen breath, it's called an alcohol sensor, otherwise known as a breathalyzer.
Yes, sir.
Are you happy to provide that?
I'm not going to do that. You know why?
Why is that?
Because I'm like 2 blocks away.
Okay.
You guys are f***ing picking on me.
Okay.
And you guys are gonna regret picking on me.
Okay.
Because you don't know who the f*** I am. I want to drop my f***ing truck off.
All right,
okay.
no, we're not doing that. So
we're going to go to this vehicle.
we're going.
You're a f***ing
Okay. Okay, then.
Because I got to call Attorney General Drew Wrigley to let these guys know you're being an asshole to me.
Okay. Just to let you know, all of this is video and audio recorded on body camera, including your language, right?
Never, ever. All of those days of being able to pull rank and use your position outwardly, especially with all of the body cameras and social media today, if you are in a position of power, you never, and I mean you never, ever, under any circumstance, ever use the words, "Do you know who I am?" That is the fastest way to find yourself under investigation, going viral, and you go from a small, unknown North Dakota lawmaker and politician and to be in the front page of the news because you wanted to try to pull rank and you thought that you was somebody. Meanwhile, you still going to be sitting in the back of that car or that paddy wagon with the metal bracelets on, and it ain't going to be no watch, right? It's going to be the metal bracelets, and you're going to be at the front of the congregation. And now, where you could have just had a nice, sweet, cool life and you could have took an Uber home, you decided that you wanted to drive. You got pulled over two blocks over from where you were supposed to be, and now you hitting us, "Do you know who the F I am?" and you calling people the F word, all right? So under no circumstances, when y'all get famous, I know it's some people that's watching this stream right now that's obviously going to be 10 times more famous than any of these people that y'all see going viral. Do not say, "Do you know who the F I am?" Make your phone calls, pull your rank, whatever. But when you start to involve other people and it starts to go viral and they release their body cam footage, it's not going to be good for you. So good luck to this man. Seems like a very nice young man. Had a little bit too much to drink, went out partying last night, and now he got to pay the piper.